An equation such as 2 plus 2 times 4 requires you to first multiply the 4 by 2, then add the 2, and you'll get the right answer for that equation. That's an exact formula. That's an exact method. You first do the multiplication, then you do the addition. For those who remember BODMAS, that's how you work it out. You first do the multiplication, then the addition. Now, what if I told you there's a formula to success? It's 3 steps. It's just 3 simple steps, and it's going to get you the exact results. First step is praying. Praying. By prayer, I mean getting in touch with your spiritual self. You have to listen all the way to the end if you want to get the gist of this method, and I tell you it will work. And if you try it and it doesn't work, you can message me and tell me that your method doesn't work. If you try it to be successful and it doesn't work, you can get back to me and my method will be wrong and it will be impractical. Now listen, the first step is prayer. When you pray or when you get in touch with your spiritual self, you get in touch with divine powers that guide you, that guide your way. If I've got a problem in my life, say supporting my family, and I need money, the first step will be praying that I find a way to make money. So that's the first step. That's the first method. Prayer. Getting in touch with the divine powers to guide your way, to give you good ideas. Every idea, reflection. That's one way. I say prayer, but reflection, getting in touch with your spiritual self. That's the first step. You have to be in touch with your spiritual self. After you pray, what do you do next? After you pray, you write down what you've prayed about. You journal. You journal, because you cannot remember all that you've prayed for. When these ideas come, when God blesses you, when your reflection, when you connect with the divine powers and that reflection is given unto you and the powers are in your brain now, you have to write it down. You have to write it down. This allows you to go back to it and check in with yourself and say, oh, this is what I prayed for last time. Where we are with this. It's your checks and balances. Journaling. You check and balance yourself and say, okay, this is what we prayed for. We prayed for money. Now we've got the money. What do we need to do next? You journal that. You write it down. Now the last step is budgeting. Simple. Budgeting. When you say you need money, the next step is to know what you're going to use that money for. The next step is to know how much you need to invest, how much you need to spend, how much you need to save. That's budgeting. You pray for the idea comes to you. You write down the idea so you don't forget the idea. You budget for the idea. You look at your life and say, okay, this is how much I spend a week. Can I afford this idea? No. Can I save so that in the next couple of weeks, I can afford this idea? Okay, how much do I need to save? This much. What effects would that cause in my expenditure, in my lifestyle? That's what budgeting does. Those are the 3 simple steps that will define success for you in your life. Have a great day. Be blessed. Peace.